Hello again. Now, Water and Sanitation Minister Senzo Mchunu and Joburg water officials have been engaging with residents in Johannesburg South following recent water supply challenges experienced in this area. Gauteng has been having water issues for a while now, with South Hills residents particularly battling dry taps for more than 2 weeks. My colleague, fellow anchor and reporter here at eNCA, Heidi Giokos, is there in that meeting, has been tracking this story for us. Good afternoon, Heidi. I see, the residents had an opportunity to really vent their frustrations to City of Joburg and Joburg water officials and the minister present there.
Yes, certainly, Bradan. I think residents really got an opportunity to ventilate their concerns, and the Minister has another engagement. So let's get straight into it. Thank you so much for your time, Minister. We do appreciate it. Obviously, tensions are really high. Residents are very frustrated. They haven't had water since mid-August, which is rather unacceptable. Do you understand what the actual problem is? Have you been communicated to about what the problem is and why residents have not had water for so long?
Well, of course, we've just emerged from an emotionally charged meeting, understandably so, and we accept the agitation and the anger. We received it responsibly because water is very sensitive, it's very emotional, and therefore we accept how the public were venting out their issues. But that doesn't resolve matters, so that's why we were not emotional when we responded. We were cool and therefore focused on resolving the problems. So I understand the problems. Number one, in terms of the outcome and the way forward, I just want to assure the public that we've been meeting Johannesburg Municipality and Johannesburg Water, which is their entity, but together with Rand Water, which supplies bulk to Johannesburg. And all our meetings have been cordial. Of course, also there would be tensions from time to time, but we managed very, very well. And from where we sit, there are 5 things that are an outcome of this meeting, which are going to be implemented. Number one is that we want the people of South Hills and the rest of Johannesburg to hold us responsible. We know we're dealing with an issue that is their constitutional right, because water is a right, and water is a source of life. And as such, we must hold each other accountable. We don't fear that, we're fine with that. Number 2, we are going to water shift as an interim measure. This means that Rand Water and Johannesburg Water and Johannesburg Municipality, they are going to be monitoring 24/7. Make sure that as the system fills up, they shift water to another and to another, but without a period during which people are left without water. That is unacceptable, as you are saying, from August to now. And that must come to an end. And for that reason, we're going to hold a meeting today at 6:30 with all those who are involved technically and politically, so that we resolve finally on this matter and then say, you start operating, and we don't want to hear another community or this community of South Hills saying they didn't have water for another day or so. We must bring this to an end. That is the second thing that we're going to do. Of course, the third one is that we want Rand Water to complete the processes of the additional 150 megalitres so that we know, say to Johannesburg, even though you leak up to 25% in terms of direct leaks in this municipality, which they are working on, and we'll be addressing that on Thursday, to ask them about their commitments that they made in March in terms of infrastructure, a replacement of pipes underneath, which will stop quite a volume of water from leaking to the ground. That's a matter that we are concerned about. They will deal with that. But the issue is Johannesburg will be dealing with that matter. We will be monitoring and talk about that on Thursday. But of course, the next thing So we want Randwater to guarantee us this 150 additional from Station 5. And then the next issue will be to look at the reservoir, the Mayor's Hill Reservoir. Because people say before it was decommissioned, there was no problem of water. Of course, I think it cracked and all of those problems, and it got decommissioned. And there hasn't been replacement for that. I said to the chair during the meeting, we might give them directives to attend to that reservoir. It may need to be rebuilt. I don't know. We'll have discussions on that. It's quite a huge reservoir, about 200 megalitres, and therefore it would require that we discuss that, and if we need to come up with that decision. It will make a huge difference. In fact, it will bring an end to problems. But I'm happy with what Johannesburg Water said, saying they are going to do a temporal pump station. Yeah. Because the problem is depending on water that is only in pipes over a long distance without boosting, without water getting resolved so that it gets new power to get to homes. And all those things we're going to resolve one and finalize. All I need from Johannesburg Water in the evening about that is when do you start, when do you finish that particular task. And the last thing we said here, which is point number 5, is that we want to make an appeal that all of us must be accountable. We must be accountable. The public must be accountable. It is time to conserve water. Use water sparingly. Don't just take a pipe, water you clean your car. After that, you fill up your swimming pool. After that, you water your gardens while talking to a neighbor and sipping beers and all of that. It's not going to be allowed. It's not going to be allowed. We just want to use our water responsibly so that we can share water, and after that we will be at peace.
Sure, I mean, you must conserve water. You can't just be reckless, but I mean, this community hasn't had water, so it's not fair to ask that.
Once we deliver, I did say, I'm going to say this, but on a soft tone for now.
Yes, okay.
But once we restore water, I'll come on a harder tone to say, please conserve water.
Got you. Okay. Just last question. It's interesting that you are here as national government, that the Department of Water and Sanitation has had to intervene in this matter that should have been handled possibly by the Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Joburg Water and Rand Water. You were quite stern in the beginning where you said, where is the Mayor? The Mayor's not even here today. I don't even think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't even think the Mayor has gone to this community since these water problems. Isn't that of concern for you as the Minister of Water and Sanitation that this has had to reach your desk, which is more of a local issue?
Of course, had water not been a constitutional right and a source of life, I wouldn't have cared to come here even in the absence of the Mayor. But our stance is that we must work with Johannesburg, and the Mayor of Johannesburg is the political head of the municipality, and therefore we need to work together all the time, during the time of problems or during happier times when there's no problem. We have to work together. If there's one thing that water teaches you, it is that you can't do it alone. You've got to be with other people, even at a world level. I mean, in March, we were from a world conference. We've gone there even 3 times. And water cuts across borders between countries, in boundaries between municipalities. It's just an issue that we must work together. And therefore, I want to make a call out there that we need you, Mayor of Johannesburg, we need to work together. But the MMC for Water in Johannesburg was here and has always been with us. Johannesburg was with us here. So there's no finger pointing and shifting. And there's no way we're not going to implement this decision just because the Mayor is here. We're going to go ahead. But it will reinforce our working together, catching up with problems as they develop all the time, and then working on solutions, knowing that the highest authority in Johannesburg municipality is with us. And this is required all the time.
Okay, thank you so much for your time, Minister. We do appreciate it. Okay. That is the Minister of Water and Sanitation. Thank you, Senzo Mkunu, just giving us a wrap, Bradan, of what happened. I'm wondering if any councillors want to speak about how they feel after the meeting. I'm not sure if we have time, Bradan, but maybe just a quick sum up of the intervention from the Minister, and if you think that there's going to be actual tangible solutions and taps, water in people's taps.
Okay, thanks very much. My name is Mohamed Mnyameni, the Ward Councillor of Ward 124. We really appreciate this decision, that the step that is taken by the Minister. Then at least the residents now, they went out of the meeting smiling, because there will be a change because of the commitment that he has made. And us together as councillors, we believe that at least today, then the residents will have water by the end of the day. Hence, we are going to have a meeting also this at 6 o'clock today at night, then so that we finalize when this thing is going to be started, as they will say that they will divert water, then when it's going to be end of the day, when it's going to be finished about that process that they promised, they committed here in the meeting, then so that we can come back to the residents and report to them, say that what the Minister have committed, these are the results.
Okay. I don't have much time, but maybe I can just get your response. Do you believe what's going to happen? Maybe you'll believe it when you see it, when you actually see the water?
Yes, I'll believe it when I see it, but I'm also a bit disappointed that they didn't mention Robert Cham, the Crown Gardens reservoir, because we need solutions there. My people's without water for about 12 days today. And yes, I'll ask the question tonight at 6 o'clock's meeting. And yes, I will give my residents a feedback, but I am disappointed that they didn't mention the solution to that problem, which is for 2 years now. It's a 2-year problem, and I'm not happy with that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all so much for your time. Sorry, I've actually run out of time, but we get a sense, and we'll get more clarity after the meeting that's expected at around 6:30 this evening, Bradan. But I do think that there was some kind of indication and direction in terms of a way forward. It's obviously very difficult because there's a number of reservoirs that are obviously impacted, but the fact that the Minister decided to come out just speaks volumes to the actual crisis here.
Yeah, he's making it very clear. If it was not a constitutional right, if water was not a constitutional, he would not have come here today instead of the mayor. Thank you very much, Heidi Giokos. There's still more to come out of that meeting as the consultations continue in the evening, but at least this looks like there's some solutions that are going to be put on the table to help the people of South Hills and Robertsham to have water. That was eNCA reporter Heidi Giokos.